I'm just curious about that transition from Fox into Disney and what the environment was like inside. If it was like, was it traumatic or was it like okay? How did it go?
To me, the lesson is if you're the side being acquired, you're going to have it the roughest, because whatever you've cultivated or created is usually, I think, kind of it's devalued, right? So everyone puts, their effort into their jobs or has pride in their work. And I mean, as I think the one thing I loved going to Fox is just how proud everyone was to work there. I call it the blue collar studio because I felt like it was very relaxed. But that, we had like we had IPs the way that Disney had IP, but we had kind of the grittier ones. We had the Die Hard Aliens and Predator, and even when it came to comic films, like when we did Deadpool, it was like, yeah, we're doing we're doing the cool stuff. Like, not the fact that Marvel's not cool, but it was just like this is the edgier version. Like
Yeah.
when Logan came, we're always just and I think even like in terms of someone that loves storytelling, and that's why I became an actor originally, out of all the studios, I think Fox was the last one that was really taking calculated risks. For 24 films a year, they released between 20th Century and also Searchlight. I think only five were IP. So you're looking at well over a dozen original films a year where every other studio was not doing that. And it was definitely, look, it was a sad time, because you saw systematically just sort of things being shut down. You hear of people that getting laid off, and the thing that I just noticed on my side was the discs, what we could and couldn't spend started to change. What we had, like Fox had a mandatory director's commentary on all our new release films, even if the film didn't do well at the box office, they were still going to have the director in for a commentary, and that was something that was put into question once the department adjacent to us had Disney move in. It was like a lot of questions started coming in, like, why are we spending this? Why are we doing this? And um, and look, it was, you just see everything start to get flat. All of a sudden there's no screenings on the lot anymore. We had, like, every time we released a movie on a Friday, they would screen that film at lunchtimes on a Friday. There would be the restoration team would do Fox movie night and screen like The Abyss in 70 millimeter, or some either a restored film or an old film from an original film print. It wasn't fun. And then you were in this waiting game where we waited for like a year before Disney kind of came in. We got our new bosses, and we were all essentially, those that they decided to keep, myself included, were put onto Disney Plus. And streaming is not my preferred format. It's just not as fun to work on for me. So I resigned, and then but that look, it was not easy. It's never fun. It's just because, and I think even from people that I've spoken to on the other side too, like it's like what is happening? Because it's like it's such a huge, like, you're taking on a studio, an 80-year-old studio, and tons of assets, tons of TV content. Fox had such a huge amount of television content in production. Forget like just even the old film assets, and then films that were in production.
The scary thing about what you just said is that a lot of those Fox movies and shows are nowhere now. They're not on physical. They're not even on streaming or any of the digital platforms. They just vanished. And I guess there's a plan for them, or there will be a plan for them at some point. I mean, I hope. But for now, things just disappeared, and they've been gone for a few years now.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, I started like compiling like a spreadsheet of all the films that I couldn't find, and it's just, I think that, look, and I don't think it's different at Disney than any other studio. When you have a problem that, well, a challenge, I'll say, like the streaming platforms that aren't bringing in the revenue that they need to bring, and you're operating at a loss. It's even if like something like, even in your physical media arm, if they were to license out content and it might make them an extra couple of million, that's not going to make up for the billions, that they are having to put into these platforms. And I would say that, like, it, you know, every company's starting to run leaner and leaner, and it takes a village to maintain all that. And I think even just historical awareness of the studios in general, aside from a couple, I think is a problem too. I don't think that there is enough staff that are aware of not only the library but also the cultural value of some of these films.
Hmm.
And with a couple of the studios, I've bought up titles and would you do that in 4K? And some of the people I'm talking to don't even know what the film is. And
Yep.
some of them are my age or a bit younger, some are a bit older, and it's like we're in the film business, you know. I think I think it does matter. It doesn't even have to be an expert, but I think even if you don't like the film, like so many films that I push for 4K, I don't personally like, but I'm aware of their value culturally, that there's a market for it. And it's if I was working at a studio and hiring in that, I would do some kind of at least one or two questions on the legacy of that studio just to see if the person I'm hiring is aware of what's important about it. Because every studio does have its own legacy.